Hello, Solo.
Time has not been kind, Jax.
Well, you're no spring chicken yourself. My favorite is smuggling diamonds, though. I'm in it for the carrots. Okay, people, welcome back to another Fwoosh Weekly. As always, I'm Robo, and it's another week in toys. When I first listed out the bullet points for today, I thought, oh, that's not a lot. But once I started getting into it, there's a lot to talk about within those points, if that makes any sense. But there's no signs of stopping, which we'll get into here. And let's just get into it. What am I doing? First up, though, to jump back to something I talked about last week, I had said that the Bandai Star Wars Mandalorian model kit didn't come with a cape. But you know me, I'm the first to admit when I'm wrong, and when a few people pointed out that the solicitation actually stated the characteristic cloak is reproduced with cloth material parts, I can say, yep, I was wrong. Hell, it even goes on down below to say cloak ×1, so it's actually listed twice in the same, well, general grouping of words. Is that called paragraphs or something? I can blame all of this on my Arkansas education, or my excitement over seeing a new model kit after so long, because, new model kit, it doesn't have a cape, hey guys, it doesn't have a cape, and then I didn't actually read. You know how it goes. Even better, it seems that the silver and the plain white versions are seeing domestic release. Right now, Dorkside Toys has them up for pre-order. For the Beskar, it's $62. For the plain white one that you paint yourself, it's $37, which is about the same price that you would pay if you did import it over after you pay overseas shipping. Scheduled for July, and there's a little Star Wars item at the end. I'm sandwiching. I had to get some Star Wars in here somehow, right? Yeah. This week, Judith Hoag's coverage of the making of, the behind-the-scenes look at NECA's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 1990 movie April O'Neil came to a close, which meant full reveal and pre-order. It was announced that the pre-order would stay open for 2 weeks on NECA's sites, so at this point, you have just a little over a week if you're wanting to go this direction. But if you're wanting to take your chances out in Walmart land, it will eventually come to stores. Looking at the promo shots, though, it's what we're used to when it comes to NECA prototypes. Lots of fantastic detail and paint, but when it comes to the likeness, slightly off. We saw this with the Back to the Future line. When the promo shots first came out, it was like, oh, Marty looks kind of, ooh, but now that it's out in stores, it looks a lot better. I'm hoping it's the same for April, and Randy on Twitter did say that this isn't the final paint, or this isn't the final print. So I guess there's more work to be done to the face and the skirt. But much like the arms on the first 1990 movie Casey Jones, where it was a double joint on bare skin, April's knees kind of stick out at you. They're kind of like, hey, we are articulated. That top and NECA joint, it's usually better when there's cloth or wrinkles surrounding it or something. When it's just on bare skin and it's cutting the silhouette, it kind of unsightly. And notice I said first Casey. In the slew of April pictures, there is one unmasked Casey picture with the painted head, but they also updated his elbows to be hinge and swivel. So they know it's a problem. Maybe they'll be updating the April too. Who knows? I don't know. But the sticking point right off the bat when pre-orders went up was the signature edition of April. What am I doing? Same as the standard release, but it came with a 1/1 scale press pass with autograph on it. And then the figure came with a yellow raincoat that we first see April in when she shows up in the movie. Okay, cool. It was a special release, but it was limited to 2,000 pieces and it cost $100. It sold out in about 20 minutes, which isn't bad for an exclusive, you know what I mean? But, ooh, that price point, ugh. And yeah, when it first dropped in a plastic-loving frenzy, I was trying to get the signature edition into my cart when I realized, I don't need to spend the extra $70. I'm not going to display it with the raincoat. I just went with the standard edition. But I know the raincoat was important to some collectors, so it's one of those weird things that came out of the blue. I'm still kind of like, why is this $100? And that one's $30. This doesn't hit until August, so I'm expecting more tidbit updates as we go along. But that's not all from TMNT. Oh no, Super 7 looked at NECA with their pre-orders and their teases and their reveals and said, you know what, we can do that too. Early in the week, Super 7 showed off their Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Ultimates! Wave 3 and 4 test shots. This is taking a look at the molds from the factory. There's no paint, they just throw random plastic in, but it gives us a better look at what's actually coming with each figure, or how the figure's coming along. Wave 3 Michelangelo is looking great, and I don't know if it had been confirmed before this, or if it was talked about in a podcast or interview or something, but there is a pair of nunchucks that have real chain between them. I've seen comments about Rocksteady looking small compared to Bebop, but I don't think that's the case. One, I think it's the plastic used. The white of the helmet is blending into the background, making him look shorter. But as far as proportions go, the smaller feet on Rocksteady compared to Bebop, that's going back to the original Playmates line, and that's what the Super 7 Ultimates line is based on. They went with the same aesthetic. For Metalhead, the original solicitation did list interchangeable heads, but it wasn't actually shown. Here, there seems to be a red translucent head. Does that mean we're going to see some light piping? Put it up to the light, it makes the eyes glow or whatever? When it comes to options, though, April is the big reveal. When we first saw this figure, we only saw the updated Playmates sculpt. To a lot of us, it's not our mind's eye of April, which I was just saying about, oh, you have to remember Rocksteady's based on the Playmates figure, but when it comes to April, oh, they better do an updated head. But that's exactly what Super 7 did. They threw in 2 more heads. Actually, the hair is shaped more cartoonish. In fact, both of them look slightly different. One has a headset, but more subdued hair. The other one has a more full face, more full hair. So I'd like to see these painted, or I can't wait to see these painted because they should be coming around the mountain soon. Moving on to Wave 4, Mondo Gecko is looking amazing, no surprise there. It's essentially what we saw in the original solicitation pictures. Same goes for Muckman, everything we expected, including Joe Eyeball. Casey Jones, though, oh, one of my favorite figures from the original line, and this is a great update to take that original sculpt and modernize it a bit. I thought at some point Super 7 had mentioned something about updating the hair or making it bigger and stuff, but from what I can tell, this is the same sculpt. Saving the best for last, of course, Donatello. He comes with 2 bow staffs. I don't know what else to talk about. Again, this is exactly what we expected, but it's Donatello, so I feel like I should keep on talking about him, but yep, that alternate head's looking cool, and did I mention 2 bow staffs? And I'm sure you saw it on a couple of the pictures, I don't remember which ones, but Series 3 is scheduled for summer, and then Series 4 is scheduled for fall. But all that was just buttering us up for the full reveal of the Super 7 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
You know I got this.
Wave 5. That's 10. 5. The teases actually started last week with Sewer Samurai Leo, and seeing the full figure now, oh, magnificent. It's a fantastic update, especially that fully masked head. That's just a great add-on. And this is a perfect way to keep a turtle presence in upcoming waves. Take those popular variants from back in the day, put them in it, yeah, and that gives us the next 4 waves. Another tease from over the weekend was Krang, and this may be my favorite of the wave. I know that sounds weird, but just look at those colors. Look how they pop and the way that Krang's eyeballs float inside the sockets. Giving us an alternate, more animated, more excited Krang head is brilliant. And the fact that you can display both because of the mech suit and then the tripod, you can put them at different ends of the display or in different displays. This is well thought out. The final tease before the full reveal, though, was Leatherhead. What's better than the addition of a Cajun alligator, right? There's complaints of the human-shaped buck teeth, but as much as those freak you out, that is fairly accurate to the original toy. I've said that 3 times or 4 or something, right? It looks like the old toy, but updated. Then out of the blue, with the full reveal, Ray Fillet finishes off the assortment. Now, I admit it, I have no attachment to Ray Fillet, but again, it's a good-looking action figure. It's almost jarring going from Leatherhead to Ray Fillet, though, but it was the same way, and here it comes again. That's the way it was in the original line. Leatherhead is more toyetic, Ray Fillet is more cartoony. Like they come from 2 different brain patterns or something. Each one is $55, should release June of 2022, and I'm looking down to make sure I said that right because that's more than a year off. I wanted to make sure that was right. Oh, we're not done yet, though. DreamEX, remember that company that used to have the turtle license? They made some high-end 12-inch turtles. It seems they're back in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game with some kind of mech suit model kit turtles. From the tweets I've read, there seems to be Gundam parts mixed in here. People are calling out actual names of Gundams, going, oh, that comes from so-and-so, and that part's from here, and that part looks like this. I don't know if there's a collaboration or there's an homage going on. But I'll be damned. 1, model kit, I'm in. 2, it's a variation on the 4 turtles, and I love that. When they change it up or move it to another style or stick it in another universe, I'm a sucker. Leonardo looks lean and mean with 4 swords, 2 blasters, and a big honking shield. Michelangelo goes even more hardcore with all the kinds of weaponry hanging about, but don't forget the nunchucks on the belt. Raphael is a bruiser again, and what's better than having mech arms? mech arms on top of mech arms. And then you stick flip-out claws on top of that, because... But if you need some range, Donatello seems to be the sniper of the crew. Makes sense, he is the most technologically inclined, along with the bow staff having the longest reach out of all the turtle weapons. See how I tied it all together? Thank you. Thank you. No word on size or release here, just pretty pictures and a plastic twinkle in DreamEX's eye. You know, I'm hoping for that 6-inch scale, but even if they're bigger, because of what they look like, because of their Gundam influence, I'd be okay with bigger too. They can be as big as they want, and it'd still be... When I first saw the new pictures of a Storm Collectibles Street Fighter Zangief, I thought, that's just a reissue. But nope, this is the Street Fighter II, the Final Challenger Zangief, and it's all new. Similar, but notice the lack of veins and the addition of more hair tufts. So it seems to be slightly more animated than the first release. Storm has also somehow made him broader than the original release, which looks fantastically insane. It's crazy unnatural, but it fits the aesthetic perfectly. The head options are also in the same ballpark as that first release, with serious gritting and screaming, but there is a new bleeding head. Apparently Zangief got Hadouken so hard in his mohawk, the hair itself started bleeding. With the hands and effects, it may be worth another pickup, even if you have the first, especially if you're a hardcore Street Fighter fan. $99 Q3 of this year. Psst. Hey, did you guys hear about that secret Mezco drop this week? Easy, we don't want the general public to know that there's action figures being dealt out. You think I'm exaggerating, but that's how drops like this actually feel. I'm not hardcore into the Rumble Society, I haven't joined the clubs or whatever you have to do to actually get the information here. I usually see it on Twitter or forums or somewhere else and go, Mezco site, I want to see what this looks like. And then I have to go back to the original message to actually find the link to the page, because God, on the front page, I can't find it. But this is purposely done. It's more of a, I nearly went with cult, but it's a club, right? I mean, if you're in, you're in. And if you're not, you don't know the secret handshake or the password, because by the time I do all that stuff, it's usually sold out. This week, Mezco did offer up their 1/12 scale Mosquatch. Yes, it may be a Mezco King Kong with different hands and feet, an interesting looking head, and the addition of flocking all over the body. It does take the design and shove it straight into the Rumble Society universe. That's my feeling on flocking in general. If you jump in on my live streams, you know that I absolutely hate the feel of flock. You know how nails on a chalkboard is to your ears? That's how it is to my fingers. There's just something about it. If you hand me something flocked, it's getting dropped on the floor instantaneously. It's like, no. But I know that's my problem, and it knocked Mosquatch off my want list. If you wanted it, you can still get on the wait list because, again, Rumble Society, it's sold out fairly fast. Besides looking like an interesting action figure, it also came with some spiffy Hazard Squad gear. Better yet, $60. And yeah, when we're talking about Mezco 1/12 Collective, anything under $80 always seems like a deal. But you couldn't pay me $60 to play with a flocked figure. I swear. You hand me the money, you hand me the flocked figure, they're both getting dropped. I don't want to touch anything for several days. Should release late summer, early fall. Some G.I. Joe news popped up at the end of the last weekly, but not the G.I. Joe news a lot of people are wanting to hear. Wait, Joe G.I? So, not G.I. Joe? Oh, Joe G.I, of course. Here is White Ninja and Black Warrior from TWToys. They're the company that makes those heavy kind of ceramic or polystone diorama pieces in 1/12 scale, so there is a history of release with this company. And the TW in TWToys means 12 world, so 6-inch scale. It's been a while since I've seen it, but these two characters are from the movie Joe G.I. Revengeation, and they are in the clan Kargiashi. First they're enemies doing all their training stuff, and then something happens, and then they become bitter enemies, only to come back together later because the whole thing was a misunderstanding. You know, like Sour Patch Kids in real life. Some of the details seem a little blown out, a little large for this scale, like White's seam lines on his torso or the zipper, and then there's Black's mesh work on the belts. But they still look like good representations of what we saw in the movie, including this likeness. I mean, when I first saw this, I was like, oh, it is licensed product, but it's not. Then getting to the weapons, oh, those are downright awesome. Ninja's sai, pistol, shuriken, hands, and then it also comes with a pair of swords that peg together to make a deadly double sword of destruction. Warrior's accessories include knives, pistol, dual machine guns, loads of hands, and then a pair of swords. $100 each. Expect expected Q3 of 2021. These shattered glass Transformers just mess me up. Autobots are bad, Decepticons are good, my mind won't accept it. Well, with Optimus, it's not so hard to believe because there's always been Nemesis Prime skulking in the shadows, but when it comes to Megatron as a hero, no! My brain rejects it. I look at the picture in this color scheme, and this knowledge that Megatron may be a good guy, but that doesn't matter. This isn't for me. It's for the fans of Shattered Glass and alternate versions and variants and darkest timelines. So this is available on the Hasbro Pulse right now. And it includes an issue of the IDW Shattered Glass comic with variant cover exclusive to Hasbro Pulse. So there you go. $37 hits in October. Megatron. Hero. Why, back in my day... Okay, Dave and I went over the Hasbro Fan First Monday Marvel Legends reveals on Monday Fwoosh Live on... Well, it was Monday night. That's in the name. But we're still going to do a quick pass because this is the weekly, baby. The boys started the stream with some previously revealed Disney Plus Marvel Legends wave figures like WandaVision, Scarlet Witch, and Vision. Wanda is still slightly off from what we saw on the show, but it's not like she's not going to be making any big screen appearances anytime soon. So I feel like we have another chance at this with the colors and the headdress and the cape, I guess, is missing. Same goes for White Vision, which I didn't actually like at first, the cream colors and stuff, but apparently those are accurate depending on the lighting in the show, or however that works. But I absolutely love what the new head and cape does for the reused body. It just makes it work. Loki was the first actual reveal of the stream for this wave, and it's dude in suit. I get it, the show hasn't even debuted yet, and in a wave with this much new sculpting, one of the figures had to be on the lower end of the budget. But it's still a new head and torso jacket piece and tie. Look at that tie. That tie is awesome. Zemo is another we had seen before, and I was right about the neck staying purple, whether he's masked or unmasked, but that would have been a whole separate assembly. Pop the neck out of the torso, so I can understand that too. But there's actually pictures of him holding a pistol. Hey, I'm good with that, and there's fists for both hands, so you can go left and right with the... Plus, don't forget the likeness here. They absolutely nailed that. Unfortunately, I can't say the same about Bucky. At least when I look at it, I think, well, it's not quite Sebastian Stan, is it? From the neck down, the costume looks damn accurate, but... And people hate when I say this, but Stan's just got one of those faces. Even high-end import companies have trouble with this face. People say he looks like Mark Hamill, and Mark Hamill has that same problem. US Agent was the one I was looking forward to the most because I just love that costume in the comics. But the figure only gets us about 75% there. It looks great, but it shouldn't have the A on the helmet, and the colors on the chest are all scrambled. The red straps should be black, the black straps should be white, and then the star should be toned way down. I also think that there isn't the red stripes on the arms. Again, this may be an early concept art, or it may be easy reuse of the Walmart Captain America. Because on the back of the package, the picture is right, at least the bigger one. On the smaller one, the colors are messed up on the chest, but it's missing the... I don't know what happened. But to finish the wave, the new Captain America, Sam Wilson. This looks fantastic and accurate to what we saw in the show, at least as far as I can tell, with the edges and the seams and the pads and the colors, everything. I may not personally like that his skull is sticking out the top of his costume, especially since he's a flying character that does this most of the time. But again, that's just my personal thing. It does look like the comics, it does look great. And they did add translucent lenses so you can see the eyes underneath. That's a great little detail. But notice the lack of wings. The announcement that the flight gear would be the builder of the wave met with mixed results, especially for the collectors who only wanted Captain America and the Winter Soldier figures, which is most of this wave, but didn't want to buy, you know, Desk Clerk Loki or the WandaVision stuff. Or if you just wanted Cap, it's incomplete unless you buy the whole wave. But we've seen this before with the Vulture, and the team did talk about looking at the shows and not really finding anything Build-A-Figure worthy. So it's something to spread out over the thing. At least it's all MCU or all Disney Plus. It could have been a comic book Build-A-Figure, and you have to buy stuff. If you're a comic book collector, you'd have to buy stuff that you didn't want to get the Build-A-Figure. Or if you're an MCU collector, you're building a figure that you didn't want on your comic shelf. Someone like me, I wanted the whole wave anyway, so we're going for it, I guess. They were going to get raked over the coals anyway, no matter what decision they made. Comic, MCU, Disney Plus, wings, figure, character. But after that came the teases. We'll be getting a new Hercules soon, this time in his Avengers Under Siege era look. Got the harness, got the shorts, got the more subdued sandal boot things. Pins in the elbows, no pins in the legs. It looks like reuse of the more modern Hercules we got recently for the upper body. New head, new gear, new legs. Next up was Flame Off Johnny Storm, which looks like a modern rendition of the classic look, but I was always a fan of the blue and whites, so this is right up my alley. For the next army builder, Shield? Does that look like a shield agent in different colored plastics? I think that's the gear from the Nick Fury we got a while back, but that's a good $15 Hasbro Pulse figure if you want to build up a shield army. The hairdryer gun can only mean one thing. Dwight, Ryan, and Dan are making fun of those of us who are follically challenged, and I'm not going to stand for it. I'm starting a Twitter campaign. Or they could be teasing scrolls. I'd be down for some short, skinny, troop-building Skull Warriors that I put on the shelf in various places. To end the stream, Dwight showed a maskless, shirtless, brown costume Wolverine, which automatically made me think of the time the Reavers crucified him in Australia. Outback X-Men are coming. Or it could be something else. Who knows? Finally, a little tease for next week. May the 4th is Star Wars Day. Of course, may the 4th be with you. So Hasbro's gonna do a Star Wars Fan First Tuesday. Hopefully we'll see more stuff, but I'm keeping my expectations low, because you know how it goes. I don't want to go into a stream thinking, oh, they're gonna give us Clone Wars or prequel stuff, more Jedi, Mandalorian Season 2, I want the Jailbreak crew, give me more. That way, if they don't show a lot, I won't be disappointed, but if they do show more than a bit, I'll be pleasantly surprised. But that's my thought on collecting in general. Just, you know, go with the flow. See what happens. And that's it for this week. Maybe. Probably not. If I miss something, we'll swing back around next week. Either Monday night on Twitch or next Saturday right here on the Fwoosh channel. If you want to see any of these pictures up close without me all in front of them, look at the pictures. They're so pretty. I'll be posting all of those plus links to more information, pre-orders on the Fwoosh front page Saturday at noon. Oh man, it never ends. I swear, I just said, that's it for this week. I look down, bing, tweet, Super 7 teasing more Disney. Get one more in before it ends. Figures with Robin Hood in disguise. Oodle lolly. So we already have something for next week to talk about. If you enjoyed this weekly, comment, like, subscribe. Much love to the plus. If you're interested in seeing videos early or just in a position to help out the channel, patreon.com. But wherever you may be watching this, I'll always catch you on the Fwoosh. Ooh, reviews from next week should be more Star Wars. I've got a package coming from Dorkside with the Lucasfilm 50th Anniversary Kyrkanos, or Karnar Jax if you're nasty, and shirtless Darth Maul. I think the Luke has been delayed or something, but when it comes down to it, that's just the Dagobah Luke in black. And do I need another Darth Maul to pull the torso off, stick it on my robot legs that I got with the mashers? Oh, one thing at a time.